Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Hey, everybody. This is your girl, Moni.
And this is Kat.
And welcome back,
Happy
guys,
book
to the Fake Ass
club.
Book Club. Woo! Happy book club.
I'm so excited.
Um,
We've got
I am
things
too.
going on.
We do have things. We were just talking about all the things, friend. I mean, first of all, I can see you on video. That's fun. It's not that
Yeah.
fun. I actually was having a problem with being recorded. This is
I feel like it's fun, and there's going to be a day where you're going to kick yourself for being so critical of yourself because the truth is, you're goddamn beautiful and you're goddamn American.
that is true. That is true. It's not that. It's just mostly like I feel like this is the end of my day. And this is the part of my day
Mm,
where I don't have to be seen, and here I am, bags and
being
all.
seen.
But with
I
all
mean, you
fairness, I
don't have
always
to
have
point it
those.
out. And it's not even like kind of lean
It's
into
fine.
it because
It's
like my
fine.
bags, I'm like, you know what? That's probably a nod to how like a lot of the indigenous people they kind of have that
Puffy
bag
eyes
that
and stuff. Hey,
not puffy eye, but like there's just
puffy
something
eyes.
like chiseled in the eye because I feel that I see that when I look in the mirror sometime where I'm like, you know what? I feel like that's what's coming through.
That's the ancestors. The
It's the
ancestors are coming through.
ancestors.
It
Yeah.
might be. I've had bags since second grade though, low key. Like when I look
That's what
back,
I'm
I'm like, I've always
saying.
had these. But anyway, moving on past
Because
my
people used to
bags
always say
though.
I look high all the time. It's like, no, that's just my
That's just
eyes.
my natural glow. You know what I'm
And I
saying?
might be high.
My God. Well, you guys, we said all that to say thank you for coming back. We are excited because I have a book that I just found this. So Kat was like, we need to review an indigenous author. I agreed. I didn't naturally just know a bunch. So I was just looking and I came across a book, The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. And let me tell you, this was a great read. Um, so I'm going to give you guys a movie trailer statement for this book. Cue the music.
I don't have any music.
Oh, that's okay. All right.
Okay.
Best-selling author Sherman Alexie tells the story of Junior, a budding cartoonist growing up on a Spokane Indian reservation. Determined to take his future into his own hands, Junior leaves his troubled school on the res to attend an all-white farm town high school where the only other Indian is the school mascot.
Mm,
Wow.
that's gross.
Listen, that's brave. Okay.
He was incredibly brave.
Yeah. So that's what we are in for today, you guys. Such a good read. Before we jump into it, let's dedicate this episode properly. Let's kick it off right. So, hands over your hearts, everybody. This
Awesome.
portion of our show is always dedicated to our listeners. Thank you guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you can see our bright and shiny faces, yeah, we just appreciate the support, especially as we wrap up season 1, which is coming in a few weeks. So it's just exciting that you guys have been on this journey with us. Also, I wanted to dedicate this episode to, I know this is a bummer, gosh. Here we go. Uh, to people who have fallen victim to domestic violence, sexual violence, any kind of abuse. I just kind of wanted to dedicate that to people either going through that or people who have survived that. It's one of the themes that's kind of like in the book. So I just wanted to touch on that. And I also want to dedicate this. This is a double, triple, a triple
Oh.
to kind of like, well, I'll just say Roe versus Wade, because right now there's a lot of stuff going on. I guess a preliminary draft of some sort of bill came up saying like maybe that it would be overturned, and that's some straight up bullshit. And so I just hope people are as irritated and mad as I am about that. I hope you're signing petitions. I hope you're complaining to your local elected officials. I hope you're sending in emails, because women's autonomy is under attack currently, and I am not for that, and
Yeah,
neither is the Fab Podcast.
it never seems to stop.
Never.
We're
So,
but we're never going to stop fighting either. So, how
no,
about that?
definitely not. What about you?
My dedication is going out to an indigenous digital artist that I found on Instagram. Forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. I've never heard it. I've just read it. Eliobita? Eliobita? We'll put it in the show notes and stuff, but man, the art is dope and I'm into it. And I also second your dedications too. For and also too, especially for people who have been survivors and their stories haven't been believed. I feel like that's just like a second traumatization. Like, it's important to listen to people. Like, we're in the news right now, they got the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing. Obviously, there's,
Mhm.
is there, because I feel like in that situation, like, they're both messy. I feel like she was kind of lying on him, and there was a lot of just was a
They're
dysfunctional
doing a lot. I've
relationship
been
on
trying
both
to avoid that.
ends. Like, that's the
Mhm.
thing. But like, it's not everything is like that. Sometimes there is a person being abused, and it's better to just listen and be like, "Oh, that's cap. That's cap." It's like, don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Affirm people who, like, yeah, their experience, their lived experience. So,
Yeah, don't immediately just shoot them down and be like, "You lying." It's like, "What?
yeah, that's
Ooh, that's a weird
problematic.
that's weird. That's weird."
Yeah. That's called
Yeah, don't do that.
gaslighting too.
Eh,
So, we don't wanna do
well, I
that.
mean, like, yeah, yeah, we don't people don't
Yeah.
need it. So, yeah,
All right.
dedication over.
Dedication over friend. Okay. So, again, I stumbled upon this book, and apparently this is like a really popular book. So I am just now joining the bandwagon here with Sherman Alexie. Didn't know much about him. And so full disclosure, I feel like even before we sort of get into it, let's see. So I have you know what? I don't know how I wanna do this. I'm like, do I bring this up now or later? Because I came across some information about the author. So this is kinda when we would talk about the author a little bit.
Yeah.
So actually before we do that, how many pages did you find? What do you have?
Pop
Let's do
quiz.
this. Let's get this out
Oh,
of the
no,
way.
no, no, let me pull it up. Okay.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
Boo. 229 pages.
230. Ah! But I did see the one that said 229 as well. I saw both. But I mean, just for the sake of being difficult as I like to be, it's like, 230. I'm going with that. I like how
That's
time's
the
different. It's
closest we've
fun.
ever been,
That was
though.
awesome. Yeah, that was
That was
pretty good.
great.
I'm excited about that. That's really cool. And it was published back in 2017. So,
Okay.
um, I listened to the audiobook, which I thought
Same.
was really good. It was read by the author. It took me a minute to get used to his voice, if I'm being honest. And I think maybe because he was sort of exaggerating the character maybe in the beginning, but I was like, "Okay, that was real." I ended up liking it more than I thought I was at first. And, I don't know, I overall, I feel like I really enjoyed the book. I thought he did a really good job developing these characters, and it was really, I won't say fun because there's a lot of sad stuff in here, but it was just like I felt like I was getting to know people. Like, I feel like the characters themselves seemed very realized because this was sort of a autobiographical story, but it was fictionalized. So it was not totally true. It's told through like the eyes of his, like, I feel like a version of his teenage self. So not 100% himself, but
I thought this was, like, just an autobiography.
no, this is
Oh,
not. This is
okay.
fictionalized. Yeah, like so it's sort of like
Oh,
yeah.
cute.
Yeah, so there's a lot of similarities, but it's not
It felt
exactly what happened.
mad
And
real.
I think that's why though. I think that's what made it really
Yeah.
good because you could feel the realness of it. So that was really dope. But so let's read the about the author thing. Imma let you do that, and then Imma jump into the juiciness that I found out today that I did not know.
Thanks, Moni.
Okay.
Sherman Joseph Alexie Jr. is a Spokane Coeur d'Alene Native American novelist, short story writer, poet, screenwriter, and filmmaker. His writings draw on his experiences as an Indigenous American with ancestry from several tribes. He grew up on the Spokane Indian Reservation and now lives in Seattle, Washington.
Very nice. I hear it's nice out there.
I hear things.
I've never been, but
I haven't either.
seems nice, but
Like, isn't that where Microsoft's headquarters are?
sure.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah.
But so the Spokane Indians, I can't, or excuse me, Native Americans, I cannot. You're brave for trying to pronounce the
I'm pretty sure I did it wrong, but
Cordelania.
I did it with confidence
You did. Cult
and
leader confidence. That's what I like about you.
oh my god, I didn't tell sorry, this is unrelated to
Tangent.
anything. Crazy lady cult that I showed you with the hair, the way
Oh,
down
jeez.
lady,
Yeah,
they
man.
dropped the second part of the documentary, like, on HBO recently, and I watched it. It it gets
I
crazier.
couldn't even listen. I didn't even get through the first. You know what I mean? The first. part because it was like, what the hell is going on here? I'm not sure if I'm prepared for this, but yeah, we'll have to listen.
Did you
We're
get
gonna
to
have
the
an
black
episode.
people? Did you get to the
No, wait,
girl, there
I
were black
saw a black
people.
people. I saw a black people. Lord,
I saw a black
I
people.
saw a black people. This is what happens when you live in the Midwest.
He
I
went that
saw a
way.
lot. Yeah, like damn. No, I saw like maybe it was like previews or clips of, like I just saw them. I didn't know what their story arc was in the whole thing.
It
So,
is
oh my
sad.
gosh. Okay, okay, okay. We are gonna
But
have to
back
do a whole
to
episode
indigenous
on
people,
that.
though.
Yes, back to them because she's nuts. But so anyway, yeah, so that's about him. And I mean this gentleman, Sherman Alexie, is apparently a literary, I don't want to say God, that sounds, but like if you're into poet, like he definitely like his writing became popular at a time where I guess like a lot of Native American writers and artists were being featured and stuff like that. And so he just got extremely popular. So like, he's been doing his rounds and everything. He's won I want to say that he won like um what was National Book Award for Young People's Literature. This was his first stab at YA, and it
Okay.
was wildly popular. So anyway, and
And I
it's
can see
been
why.
I can too. And it's also it was like it's one of the most banned books ever, which I also thought was funny that I was attracted to this particular title because I tend to like banned books. Yes, because of the
I
sexual
mean, it is,
content and the
yeah.
bullying and all that. I
But
would definitely say this is like PG-13 to
sure,
me. You know what I'm saying?
sure. But it's real.
But it's so real. It's so, so real. So, speaking of real, so here's the tea. So I was like reading up a little bit more on him today just because I was like, let me add to my little notes and stuff. And apparently this gentleman was accused of sexual harassment by like multiple women. And this was like starting back in 2018. And so he published a statement. He's not like necessarily denying it either. Like what I'm gonna do for you guys, I found a bunch of articles. I went down the rabbit hole for like 30, 40 minutes, just like reading some of these articles and stuff like that. I have an NPR article that I'll put in the show notes. So if you guys want to read up on it, sounds like there was some shit going down because he's not necessarily he's not denying it. He's not being specific about it either. But it just sounds like the typical play for power, like, you're an admired person, and you know what I'm saying, you're using your power and privilege as we do wherever we find it. You know what I'm saying? Like we exploit it. And I thought that it was an interesting contrast to the story because, a lot of this story revolves around, I mean, the themes in this story about racism, poverty and privilege and stuff like that, and how he was underprivileged in a lot of ways. But then it's like, in his real life, the privilege of being a man in certain spaces, and then having that power and influence. It's just funny how it just highlighted to me just how messy the human experience is and how
Yeah.
perfectly imperfect we all are. And so I just want to go on the record saying that the Fab Podcast does not endorse sexual predators. I don't think that this man has been tried in court. So these are still allegations. So I'm not trying the man or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, it sounds like he did some fucked up shit. I don't endorse that. We needed an episode to talk about. So we're still going to talk about the book because I think the book is still a really good book, aside of the mess that is his personal life, apparently, in some ways. And
Yeah,
so
people are still
it,
capable of creating art when they're fallible.
they can. Do you think art and tragedy go together? I promise you, I was thinking about that. I'm like, is this
I mean, it's part of the human experience. Like,
it
no one's
is.
avoiding tragedy. So,
They're not.
since art is a reflection of the human experience, it's going to reflect tragedy. It's just that I think it's a type of virtue signaling to be like, well, I can't consume that art because it was produced by a person who did such and such and such and such. And what you're saying is like, I can only enjoy art that was created by the pure of heart. And that's just not true. I do enjoy art that was created by very terrible people. Picasso, for instance. Actually, I don't
Mhm.
really like his art that much, but lots of people do. And he was a terrible person in his interpersonal life. Like, he wasn't a good
Right.
father, he was an abusive partner. He
Mhm.
had a lot of but it's like, so does that mean he couldn't paint?
No. I mean, I think that this is definitely something that gets debated a lot, though. A lot of
Yeah.
people do feel like, you can't, it's like, you don't want to consume the art. Like, I can understand. I think that if it makes you feel a way and you can't enjoy the art, then maybe you shouldn't listen to it. But like when I read this, I didn't know this anyway.
I didn't
Um,
either, and I don't even know what he did, like, it just sounds like he's on a list, so, like, what is
You have
alleged?
the NPR. I'm gonna add the. I'll send
Okay,
you the article and stuff like that. But it just
because
sounds like the
honestly, some
typical, like
was he, like, Grabby McSqueezy?
yeah, he was like, "I'm jumping up," like, handsy, like, very
A
handsy.
little
I'm
handsy, alright.
changing, you're inviting me to do something, I come, we do the thing, I'm, like, in the other room changing, you bust in, like, "Oh," and then you're, like, trying to hug me and kiss me and shit, and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't no, thank
Whoa.
you."
Yeah, I get a
Like,
lot of that, and I
a
don't
lot
love
like,
it.
creepy shit, like, some
Yeah,
creep shit, like, um there was a lots of instances, and, like, this was so, the article that I found was through NPR, so I do feel like it's more than likely pretty valid, and then the reporter in that one was like, "Yeah, there was, like, 10 different stories, and almost all of them were very, like, 'Yeah, he
similar.
invited me.'" Yeah, and some of it was some dumb shit too. It's like, you're trying to get in front of him because here's the thing, there's always this exchange, right? And I'm
Mhm.
not saying that it's okay to do this because somebody's trying to get something from you, but, like, I'm 22, I'm a poet, I'm like, "Oh my god," there was one Native American, young lady who was 22. She was a poet. She looked up to him, wanted him to read some of her poems. He said he did, but I'm sure he didn't. He invited her to come to, like, a book reading thing and then, like, saw him after the fact, and, she was just like he was, like, in my face, like, he was trying to kiss me and stuff like that, and it was super inappropriate, like, but
That's
at
not
some
I'm sorry for laughing, it's just so
it's not
dumb.
funny, but yeah, it's just like some dumb shit when you're 22 and it's like, you don't know how to be like, "Yeah,
Not
nah."
on her part, his part, because
Both
she's
of
just
them.
young.
But that's
He's
part of being
dumb.
young. The dumb shit that she did was,
Yes.
like, assuming that a man wants to hear your poetry. He don't fucking hear your poetry. He trying to see
They
them
don't.
titties. They just don't
They
give a fuck.
really
They
don't
don't
wanna talk
care.
to you, like,
They
I
don't wanna
remember
talk
that
to
was
you,
on
man.
episode of 30 Rock
They don't give a
when
damn.
Jack was talking to Liz, and he
Yeah.
was like, "Liz, could you just handle this yourself?" And he's like, "'Cause I mean with this when I say it. I'm tired of talking this much to a woman I'm not sleeping with."
Boom.
You know what I
And,
mean? Like
like, that's the thing that you learn as you've been a woman for a long time, though, that men aren't
yeah,
really they don't wanna fucking talk to you
not so
just to
much.
be talking to you, really.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying?
Even
Like,
though I'm fascinating to talk to.
listen, I like it, and I don't think I'm bad either, but it's like,
But
you do have to
I can tell
recognize that.
but I mean, because I don't wanna be too broad of a brush. Because sometimes, yeah, there are men who are interested with what I have to say. You can tell by the l like, kinda the look on their face. Like, when men are just, like, kinda like,
Uh-huh, uh-huh. If they're just staring at your,
whatever they're attracted
or
to,
past your face, right?
yeah, then I'm kinda like, "Okay, this is what's going on." But, like,
Mhm.
when I'm actually having a conversation, like but then sometimes that can turn them on too, so who knows?
You never it just basically is a crapshoot, but I do think that,
But I'm glad you brought this up. I wasn't aware of that.
yeah, so I felt like I had to say that and just go on the record
Yeah,
or whatever,
it's
but we're
good
still
to
gonna
know.
review the book. If this is
Yeah,
upsetting to you, you might wanna go ahead and just stop it now or
sorry.
whatever and then
He's a
move on to
creep
next week.
he's
He's
a
a
creep
creep.
who wrote a good book.
Here's the thing, though, a lot of these motherfuckers are creeps, though, y'all. Like, a
Yeah,
lot of these artists have
and know that.
people
Go
can
know
just
that going yes, every
man, people out here fucked up.
yeah, when you go to see these concerts, when you go to, like,
Your
any
faves
kinda
are creeps.
they are
Not all
creeps.
of them, but, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I just
Just
a lot of people are
assume
D y
that
thank you. I think, like, until they've proven that they're not, just think, like, this could be just because they create art I like, does not mean that the possibility doesn't exist for them to be creeps, and I think that's the real mistake that you have
right.
when you get in front of people, you assume, "Oh, it's like, no, that doesn't instantly make you
Good in
good in
every area of
every
life. He's good at
no.
writing, he's not
That's
good at
sometimes
everything.
that's it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And too, like, the wise Joey Tribbiani said, "If he's funny, laugh. You don't have to jump on
Joey
him.
Tribbiani.
If he's
Bitch.
funny."
No, you didn't just bring his ass up.
'Cause when his sister got pregnant, she was like, "Joey, you know, he's
Thank
really
you.
funny." And he was like, "Girl, if he's funny, laugh.
Joey
You ain't
Tribbiani.
gotta jump on the dick just 'cause he's
Wow,
funny."
that is true. You can stay off the dick.
And
It's
also
it's
too, this is from the great Tina Fey, talent is not sexually transmitted. So,
ooh,
don't
that ain't that is true. Or wealth, bitch.
well, a little bit.
Man, not really. Not
Not
unless you
really
got
though,
legal
no.
papers and shit, like, you
That's
know
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying,
saying?
like, sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, that's
But you
true.
gotta be
There's
real on
levels.
your game
Yeah,
for
there's
that.
there's
There's
levels.
levels to this
There's
stuff, but, like,
levels.
ultimately, what we're trying to say is
What we're trying to say is that this book was still good, and we're gonna talk
it's
about it.
fine to admire people's work without necessarily admiring them as a person.
Yeah.
And if there's someone whose work you admire, if you meet them in real life, don't assume that they are gonna live up to your expectations of them.
No, they're gonna fail you instantly, just know that.
Don't meet your heroes.
Instantly,
That's where that
no.
saying came from, "Don't meet
Yeah,
your heroes."
and there's why. They might try to touch your,
Molest you.
uh, girly parts or boy parts, whatever. Whatever
It
kinda
could
parts you've
be
got,
what
don't matter.
they
Your jingly bits, they
listen.
want them. Okay?
Yeah, they
So,
do.
alright, so
Okay,
moving on, guys, sorry.
powering through.
Sidetrack, yes. Alright, so, where do we start? So, I just felt like this story was,
Oh,
um
we usually do the breakdown, like, of just, like, the plot
Imma let
points.
you do that. This is
Oh,
my breakdown. This is, I was
of
just gonna
course.
say, like, so to me, this was like a funny, sort of heartwarming coming of age story of a young man. And I liked that it was based on the author's experience because it gave us a lot of realistic accounts of being an adolescent that are real relatable. And I just really liked seeing that like applied to a space that I'm not really familiar with. Like I don't know a lot about Native American I don't wanna say culture, but yeah, culture as in, like, living on a reservation, like, I mean, it's all hearsay at this point, so I thought it was really interesting that we got to tap into that, and so, yeah, do a quick, overall breakdown of the whole story, and then we can kinda dig into the
So, our
meat.
main character is Junior, and he lives with his mom and dad and sister on the Spokane reservation. And he's, going to a school on the reservation. Um he's slightly disabled because he was born with water on his brain, so he's got this real big head, he's got extra teeth, he's just kind of funny looking,
He was a hot
skinny,
mess.
big head. Yeah, and so he's just sort of like the lowest of the low. So you're the oppressed in an already oppressed population because everyone just chooses to pick on him because
"I'm
God
better than
already
you."
right, God already chose to. So
Mhm.
apparently this is the
Me
thing to
too.
do. So he's got one friend, Rowdy, who's his, hot mess of a angry friend. They're going to school on the reservation. First day of school, he's ready to get back, and then he realizes he's got the same terrible book that his mom had when she was going to school, and he just throws it.
30
Doesn't
years.
mean to throw it at his teacher, but he does. He hits his teacher, gets suspended. His teacher comes to visit him. He's like, "Look, I understand why you did what you did. What you need to do is get out of here. Nobody has any hope." So he starts going to the white school 20 minutes away, having to walk sometimes. He gets there, and then all of a sudden he's realizing what he's up against because he's like, "Oh man, like I'm not even." He's one of the smartest people there, so he's kind of like, "Man, why are we being so held back? Why are we being so oppressed?" Like but I'm sorry, this is just an overview. So while he's there, he like gets a big crush on one of the white girls there, Penelope, and he finds out that he's good at basketball and joins the basketball team and starts and is on the varsity team as a freshman, like which is incredible. So, there he's getting confidence there, but every time he kind of reaches a level, he realizes that he's so held back by his financial circumstances. But he's able to power through. On the way through all of this, he loses his sister, his grandmother, his dad's best friend, and there's so many times where it feels like he's going to give up, but he doesn't. Like one of the big themes of the book is hope. And it ends with him because when he decides to go to the white school, all his friends on the reservation are like, "Well, you turned your back on us, so we're turning our back on you." But by the end of the book, he's able to get Rowdy back as a friend. He's able to kind of make peace with the situation, even kind of reconcile like the reality of his sister's death, like as senseless as it was. But one of one of my favorite things he said was like just being on the reservation, like um talking about the
Well,
alcoholism
let's
and how
start
that
there.
affects.
Let's start
Yeah.
there because I do feel like addiction and alcoholism was a huge, huge, huge thing because all the people you mentioned that passed in his life, literally every terrible thing it seemed like that happened in this book was directly or indirectly related to, alcohol and abuse of alcohol. So, because his grandma got hit by a drunk driver. She never drank a day in her life. His sister and her husband got, they were binge drinking and fell asleep, and somebody was cooking something in their trailer and it burned up, and they didn't wake up in time. And his best friend, his dad's best friend, who's pretty much like an uncle or another family member, he died arguing with somebody over the last sip of wine or something, and his friend accidentally shot him in the face and died. So, I think that it was really, 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 it was a strong theme throughout the whole thing. I mean, I even Junior was saying like alcoholism is like the one thing that everybody has on, and well, that those the alcoholism in unhappy families is like the through line
Yeah, he used
of the
that
reservation.
Tolstoy quote from Anna Karenina that all happy families are alike, but every unhappy family is different, is unhappy in a different way. And he was like, that's not true. All of our families are unhappy in the exact same way
Same
out
way,
here.
exactly. It's just
And
like, wow.
yeah, which was relatable. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? One of the big things when he was talking about life on the reservation, I'm like, this is very similar to the ghetto.
I mean, it is a ghetto in a
It
lot of
is,
ways. It's
but
like
it's one of those things too. This is why I'm such a stickler about language. Like when I push back when we use terms like minority,
mhm,
because like that's how they want us to feel. Like they're on a
mhm,
reservation, we're in a ghetto. No, we're in the same place.
mhm. It's the same
Like
shit, man.
we're going through the same shit, and that's the thing
Mhm.
too. Like let's say because today is a voting day, right?
Yep.
Like if indigenous people and black people joined together as a voting bloc, we could be very powerful. We wouldn't be a minority even. And especially too if we realize the truth too that Mexicans are indigenous people. Like we refer to them like they're some type of foreigners. Like we're in the US. So they always try to like make Mexicans, Central Americans, South Americans seem like these scary foreigners. But like these are the descendants of the indigenous people of this landmass. Like
Which
that's a
is,
more correct way of thinking of them.
man, I know, and yeah, especially being in I don't know if it's like that everywhere. I can't really speak to it, but I feel like Mexican people in particular get a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Like how you're making the distinction of like they're Central American people, so maybe they're from Belize or Honduras, you don't know, but everybody's Mexican here. It's like you're white, black, or Mexican.
It's
You
like
know what I'm saying? Even if you're
Kleenex,
Arab, yeah, you know
the
what I
brand
mean?
name.
Persian, it's like it don't matter. You just, you know what I'm saying? You're just Mexican. And it's like, you know what? That's really fucked up. And also, they're saying it like it's a slur. That was interesting
Right.
to me too, like how when he went to that white school, he was like he refers to himself as Indian. It wasn't like he ever was referring to as excuse me, Native American. That was never a term
Right.
when he talked about the people on his reservation or himself. But when it was said to him, it was definitely said like an insult, like you're an
Mhm.
Indian, like it was a dirty
Mhm.
thing. And so
Yeah, like,
just that kinda nuance of, language, and like you say, I mean, like, how you apply things does matter, you know what I mean? Like, and how one person can say it and it's not a problem, but another person says it and it's a whole ass problem, and we know what word gets that going, you know what I'm saying?
yes,
Because we
we
have our
do.
words, you know what I mean, in
We
our culture that are problematic,
do.
so, yeah, so that was relatable. It was very relatable, and it was like,
Deeply.
wow, so they have that too. They have that too. So what experience do you have being in a, all-white school? As a non-minority.
What? Oh, it's a black. So, yes, my entire academic career, except for preschool and kindergarten, I've been in predominantly quote unquote white spaces.
Mm,
And I deeply related to this character. I immediately fell in love with the character of Junior because I feel that because like yeah, you're getting picked on in the ghetto or on the reservation,
mhm.
and then when you go to the white school, you're getting picked on because you don't belong there either. But at the same time, you're smarter than most of the people there. So, and it's like I'm not the smartest. I know that. Like I know who's smart, but I also know who's dumb, and I'm not it. And so
Mhm.
that was deeply relatable. And the fact that he was a cartoonist, that he wanted to draw, and that
Mm,
was sort of an escape. I was like, that was
I
really
love that.
relatable. Like, just, I was like, oh, I'm there. Cause, like, yeah, that would be my escape a lot of times. But even when he was talking about his res life, to me, that I'm like, yeah, that's the ghetto.
It sounded pretty ghetto. you know?
Like, it feels inescapable, there's a lot of poverty, there's a lot
Yeah.
of addiction, there's a concerted effort to keep everyone ignorant, like, it's
So sad. It's so sad. I mean, because, like, realizing you have and he was so excited about his education too, like, he couldn't wait to have, like, this geometry class, like, he couldn't wait, to, like, be a part of these classrooms and stuff, and then like, the disappointment he felt when he looked in that book and saw his mom's name, he's like, "What?" Like, damn,
they don't give
this
a
is
fuck.
crazy. They don't care. And I feel like this was like a hero's journey too, because like when his teacher actually came back, so we're bringing back old Joseph Campbell. Now I remember his name.
Yeah, yeah,
See,
it's
I'm
working, it's
learning. Pew, pew, pew.
working.
It felt like, well, he felt like the first Yoda that kind of gave him his mission. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to leave the reservation in order to fully realize yourself. And then, also the guy, was it Jordy?
Mhm. I love Gordy.
Gordy, who he ended up befriending at the
Yeah.
school was kind of like the person that helped him also just lean into, becoming who he was
Well,
or
he
if
taught him how to study, which
that's yeah,
is very
and love
important.
learning and love learning.
Yes,
Yeah.
and, like, wasn't, like, 'cause I like those types of because when I was in those spaces, those were usually the type of, like I said, for lack of a better word, white people that I vibed with, like the nerds, because
Mhm.
they're usually like, "Yeah, I don't really care about the bullshit, I like facts." And at the end of the day, if this brown person is bringing facts, I'm with it.
Yeah.
Like,
True that.
that's all, and also to the fact that he draws, like, a lot of everybody likes someone who draws, like, "Hey, draw me something," and
That's
that's
true.
how I would usually link up. It's like, "Hey, I want a picture of, Michelangelo, the Ninja Turtle, giving the finger." I'm like, "I got
It's
you."
like, "Oh, yeah, I got that. Look, I want Sonic the Hedgehog, flexing on them hoes, please."
Yeah,
You know what
all
I'm
of
saying?
that.
With
I was
bubble
like,
letters.
I want Garfield smoking a joint." "You got it. I got it." Like, whatever you want.
Absolutely.
I was taking commissions, and it
It's
was
funny. It's funny how, it's art. Sometimes it's comedy, like, if you're funny, like, you always, you find your end.
in
When you're on the outskirts, you have to kinda find your end because what he ended up doing at one point was
if you wanna
if
survive.
you wanna survive, he ended up swinging on, like, the biggest guy at school, and after that, like, because before that, people
Respect.
weren't really taught yeah, like, that for him, that kinda gave him,
Street cred.
like, yeah, some street cred with people,
He's
which
not
I
to
thought
be
was
fucked with.
interesting. No. And because I don't think they expected it, you know what I mean? Like, they
Nah.
didn't expect him to get there and take up for himself, so I liked that part too. Just, standing up for yourself part, not that he got bullied, that was terrible.
Do you think he was having some survivor's remorse?
Yes,
Great.
absolutely. I think that kinda goes into, like, what you were saying too, like, there's always this thing where 'cause and we've touched on this before, where when you realize you have to get out of your situation and it means, like, air quotes, "leaving the hood," people are gonna fucking feel a way about that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, on top of, uh, if you actually make it to the other side being like, "Damn, I had to leave people behind," um, on the way of leaving these motherfuckers behind, they're shitty. You know what I mean? Because they don't see the bigger picture. They don't know why you're not satisfied to just be regular. Like, why can't you just be here and do what everybody else is doing? Like,
Yeah, like, just start drinking, dude.
just
Come on.
right. That's what everybody does. And so, like, when you're
We
like, yeah, but I feel like, I like other stuff. Like, what's so bad about wanting other stuff? So, yeah, I do think that there is this
So you
sort
wanna
of
be white, you
that's
apple?
yeah, Apple. That was interesting. I never heard that before,
Well, obviously, because we
but I
were
get it.
Oreos.
That's true. Oh, yeah, we're all food items with
And
white on the
then with
inside.
the Asian people, they would be Twinkies.
Twinkies, wow. There's one for
Yeah,
everyone, okay.
there is. There's a
But
way
yeah,
to be really offensive in
in
every culture.
every single culture. Don't worry, we got
Everyone
one for
can
you.
get it.
But I guess I was thinking too, like, individualism and your ambitions versus like your communal obligations. And I do think that sometimes, when you think about that dynamic, that happens a lot, even with, with black people too. Like you might consider yourself, um, maybe you have a different political affiliation with certain, other people like you, but then it's like on the front of being a black person in America, there's certain issues that it's like, fuck all that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have to get in with the group. Like, sometimes you are getting in with the group because sometimes it can mean survival, like, I think that he could have very well the pressure to kinda, like, just go with the status quo and not necessarily challenge the reality that was set in front of him, um, he could have bought that, he could have bought that story, he could have bought that narrative, but he decided to try to make his own, but only when somebody else pointed it out to you though, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, really helped you kinda point that out. So, I don't know, I think that that's always kind of a difficult sort of, gosh, I feel like I can never come up with words on this show. I promise you I know them.
Just take your time because you know what happens when you do those pauses? I just edit them out.
Mm, I like
So
that.
take your time. So
But it's just basically sort of a dichotomy, I guess,
yeah, it's the
that you're
survivor's
stuck
remorse.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, I wanna save me. There's nothing wrong with prioritizing yourself, because there
Mhm.
is that I feel like there's a balance. You don't have to sacrifice your community to take care of yourself.
They'll
But
sacrifice
you
you, though.
but ooh-wee. Let's talk about the first time he played basketball against his old high school.
That was wild. That was actually really good and really intense, and, it perfectly demonstrates what we're talking about. Why don't you go ahead and break that little
S
story down real quick? Because 'cause I'll make it
well,
longer than it needs to be.
not at all. It's just that when he goes to, like, play,
So
like,
Reardon is
again,
the school, right, that he goes
Reardon
to?
is the
Reardon
white
is the
school
white
and
school, yeah.
Wampanoag is the,
Res.
indigenous school,
Mhm.
and so when he goes there, they turn their backs on him, and he's just like, "Fuck it, like, let's go," and his former best friend, like, is guarding him and immediately knocks him out, gives him a concussion,
Oh my gosh.
and it's
Never
just
even got to play.
he didn't. They end up losing by 30 points,
Oh my
the,
gosh.
white school, and it reminds me of I'm just gonna, like, I'm shifting a little bit here because I don't know if you've ever seen the show Reservation Dogs.
No.
It's on FX. It was only on my radar because, Bill Burr had a short arc on there.
Oh, did he?
Yes, he
Okay.
plays, one of the teachers on the reservation. He's like one of the he's like, how like teachers have to do a bunch of stuff, especially in small towns. But his daughter, was on drugs. And, but that's not what the whole show is really just about life on the reservation and what and it's ghetto. Like, there is that thing where you have to kind of have that mentality of, like, "I'm getting out of here no matter what. If
Mhm.
who's coming with me? If you're not coming with me, I gotta cut you loose."
Yeah. It's like
And
that.
so yeah,
It's
like,
like that.
survival is like that. Life is like that. Like, it will
Mhm.
his teacher, when he was giving that speech, it was so he was like, "You gotta get some hope. Like, everyone here has lost hope."
Well, and he learned about how his sister was like he was like, "Your sister's the only person I know who might be smarter than you here," because she was such a writer. She wanted to be, write romance novels, and he didn't even know this because at this point, his sister has spent she every day, with the exception of maybe coming out to eat or something, just for, like, a couple of hours, she'd just be in the basement and to herself, you know what I mean? Because, I mean, again, she gave up basically all of her dreams, everything, so I did think that that was interesting, and then the teacher even went so far as to apologize to Arnold/Junior slash Junior because he was like, "I mean, we're basically told to, like, separate you from yourself." You know what I mean? Like, meaning, like, culturally, like,
Mhm.
don't
Take
let
the
you
Indian
no
out,
s
like
take the Indian
yeah.
out and leave the student, air quotes, behind, sort of, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, separate and I was like, that just yuck, like, that is I hate that, and I do feel like that's at the heart of every fucking ghetto, that's at the heart of every place where there's no hope, that's at the heart of every like, wherever there's resources stripped from, you know that the powers that be are trying to keep these people away from self-actualizing, from really knowing their power, from really realizing their potential, from really having the same opportunities to have like the American dream, if you will, or, just stability and a decent education and just like clean water. I mean, this dude was I mean, the abject poverty was like,
And
it was like, damn.
And the shame around it, like, he didn't want
Yeah.
anybody to know, like, it reared him to know how poor he was because there's this I have to be honest, like, I've only observed it. I've never felt bad about, like, having less than my peers, like
Mhm,
and what's funny is because I've had both experiences because when I lived in the hood, but I went to, like, a predominantly white school.
mhm.
So, in the hood, we were doing better than everybody else. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
Like,
right,
so I never felt deprived, but, like, when I went to school, by in comparison to them, I would have been, like, broke.
right.
Like, we're not going to, going to Colorado for, ski
Spring
vacations and
yeah,
stuff like
spring break
that.
and
We don't
shit
have
or
summer
whatever.
homes,
Mhm.
like, by in comparison, but to me, it's all relative. Like, I never felt ashamed by that. It's just like, first off, the fact that I'm here on the same level as you, and it took so much more for me to get here, like, I'm never gonna feel ashamed about that.
Listen, but that's the
So
thing though, we don't teach our kids the difference between equality and, like, equity, like, showing up to a situation where you're not having to just get to 0, you know what I mean? Like, everybody wants to act like the starting line is the same for everybody when it's so not, so, yeah, it was crazy, but he flipped that shit though, he used it to his advantage, I mean, it ended up sort of being because like, going back to, like, the white girl that he was into, Penelope,
Penelope.
he was just so enamored with her, and also that was kinda steeped in some racism that he internalized anyway too, or
Or she was just hot.
there was that, nah, but I feel like a lot of it was just fetishizing her because I'm sure.
But could he have done that with anybody though? Because there was a lot of white girls there.
Oh, it could have been anyone, I'm not saying she wasn't attractive, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, I'm sure she was attractive, I don't
Just
wanna
the
take anything
dopey
away from
love he
Penelope,
felt.
but, like, it was so over the top, I'm sure she was just an average, cute white girl, like, you know what I mean? Fuck outta here, she wasn't that damn cute, you know what I
Well, we
mean?
don't know, it's
No, we
fictional,
know.
but yeah,
Have you seen the
Gordy what
sketches?
his name?
Based on the sketches, she was aight, you know what I'm saying?
Rowdy actually, I haven't seen any of the artwork from the book. I
I
need to
have
look
the
it up.
PDFs, I'll have to show them to you. So, like, the book I got
Okay.
is the 10th collection, so there's the sketches and stuff like that. So, there's sketches if you get the audiobook.
I do wanna see that, so I'll have to do that later, but
Yeah, she
yeah,
wasn't all
but
that
his,
cute.
what is his name? Gordy and Rowdy called him out for that. It's
And
like,
that's what I'm
"Dude."
saying. I felt like it just seemed a little bit of, I'm sure he was though, but I mean, I think, some of that is, I mean, it just is though, because
It's hard to avoid.
because beauty is always associated with whiteness. Like, we can't act
Here
like that's
anyway.
not, yeah, that right here. You know what I mean? So it's like it's internalized in you no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Like our sense of what beauty is sometimes. So I know that well, I feel like it went all the she went all that damn cute, but whatever. He was enamored with her or whatever. And
And she seemed like not the worst.
well, she turned out not to, but that's the part. That's the point. Everybody's the worst at, you know what I mean? Like even his friend, like, he only ended up being his friend because didn't he correct the teacher, so Junior
Gordy,
corrected the teacher was trying to make him feel like a fucking idiot about it and wouldn't
petrified
stitch it
wood.
right, and it's like, "It's actually not wood," and then Gordy, because he's like a know-it-all, not because he gave a damn about Junior, he was like, actually, he's right." You know what I
Which
mean?
I love in a
I was
way.
like, "This dork." So then after I think after class, Junior was like, "Thanks for sticking up for me." He's like, "I didn't do that for you, nigga. I did that for facts." You know what I'm saying? Like, he's out here lying on facts and shit.
Right.
So, I don't like that. And he was like, "But basically, I'm gonna need you to be my friend." He was like, "Why?" He was like, Why not?" Like, you know what I'm
And he's
saying?
like,
Like,
"Dude, I'm not gay. I don't do that gay shit."
right. Yeah, that's the first thing he said. That my God,
You
that was
gotta
heavy
love
in there
that's the
too.
first thing it went to. He was like, "Dude, no, like, I just need
He's like,
someone
"Not
to
like."
I need someone to talk to."
Right, like, I have no one here, motherfucker,
And
so
most of these people are dumb. You need someone smart to talk to. And
boom,
Gordy's
that's
like,
see, and that's where you can kinda leverage that. It's like, "Look, we
"Right.
both know everyone here is idiots."
And that's the thing, like, figure out what people need and give it to them. Like, people aren't purely altruistic, like, where I'm like, "Oh, I just wanna help you even if it doesn't do anything for me."
It's like, "Yeah,
No.
right. We talked about that top of the show. Alright, everybody wants something. Stop playing with me." Okay? Stop fucking playing.
I don't know about you, but I love having long conversations with 22-year-olds about their poetry.
Oh god, absolutely not. Oh my god, think about all the oh my god, that made me think about poetry. I didn't write it in my 20s. Even worse, it was teenage. poetry. It was the
And let me
worst.
say though, we did the last event we went
Ugh,
to, we actually did hear some good poetry.
she did do a good job. Shout out to her.
She
I
was
forget her name, but
good.
she was really good.
Cash only was like her
Cash only.
handle.
Oh
I'll see
man,
if I
yeah,
can
we have
try to
to
find it and
add
put in
her.
the show
Yeah,
notes. She had some really good
she was good.
poetry,
She was
but
cute.
I feel like she was older than 22. Maybe she
Yeah.
was, maybe she wasn't. I don't know how old she was, but no,
Can't
shout
never
out to
tell.
22-year-olds. You're hot, and just know that that's mostly what people are interested in.
Yes, and that's really sad, but it's okay.
It's okay,
It just
and
know that
hey,
that's what
revel
it is.
and have a good time with that body. Don't be so hard on yourself. I
That
wish
too.
that somebody had told me that at 22.
Man, you ain't lying. I wasn't appreciating it. Wasn't
Oh,
appreciating it.
man, if I could have that 22-year-old body right now,
22, yeah, I think so. I take it.
be working them.
I take it. All right. So yeah, I just, I thought that that was a really cute scene where they actually became friends and stuff. Same kind of thing happened with Penelope too. Like his crush, she, you know, wasn't fucking with him at first, but he ends up like hearing her vomiting or something. She had like bulimia.
Oh, yeah, and he
They
was,
had
like,
like,
proud of she was like,
dude,
oh, because he was like, "What are you, anorexic?" And she's like, "No, I'm
no
bulimic."
bitch.
Oh, that
That's
was the
for
thing
poor
too,
people.
because I had the same thing too with him narrating it, like, it was too slow, so I just sped it up.
Sped up a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and
I
that
had to
made
speed it
it
up
way
too.
easier to listen to, but he does have that kinda sing-songy,
Voice.
I love that, like, "Hey, oh," like, it's almost like the
No,
Chicano.
no, that was terrible.
I'm
I
sorry,
just have
but
to be I just
I
have to tell you
know.
before everyone else.
I know it's bad, but
Just
it's just to illustrate the
you
melody
could
of it.
just clip it in, friend. That was,
I'll I'll
just
do that. I will do that.
I
I'll
just wanna
clip
laugh at
in
you actually,
at the oh,
yeah, that's it.
but I like it. Like, I liked
It took
that.
me like I said, it took me a second because at first I was like, "So what is happening here?" But then after I sped it up and I was like, "Oh, okay, okay, okay. I'm seeing Junior now, so, like, I can okay, I'm with you." So,
Yeah.
um,
Oh,
but yeah,
oh my
man.
god, I haven't even looked at my notes. Hold on, because I had some stuff I wanted to
There's some good stuff in there, man.
there's
But yeah,
so
he
much
ends
good
up but it was
stuff.
funny because after he kinda knew her secret and stuff like that, she started talking to him and they ended up air quotes dating and holding hands, which also made him popular at school with the girls, and he ended up being well liked at school after everything. So I was really proud of him for that. Not proud, but yeah, proud. I can say
Oh,
proud.
this was, like, under, like, one of my favorite, like, quotes from the book. When he
Do
was
tell.
talking about when he was giving the background, like, for him and, Rowdy's relationship when they were,
That's a
like,
good one.
little,
Yes.
and when they were in kindergarten, because Rowdy just has anger issues, and it makes sense when you understand his
His
background, but,
backstory,
like, he
yeah.
was just angry, and so he ended up swinging on the kindergarten the teacher, and the kindergarten teacher, like, takes him and is like, "What's wrong with you?" And he goes, "Everything." It's like,
Bless that baby's heart. Like,
I
I'm
was like,
stressed out.
"Ooh, ooh."
Now,
I was
that's
like,
messed up
"That
when the little
is."
kindergartner is like, "Look, damn it,
Yeah. Yeah.
poor
Oh,
baby."
okay, here's the other thing too, because this is the thing that Gordy, when he was teaching, Junior how to study, and he
Oh,
was
I like
telling him
this.
that to, really understand a book, you gotta read it 3 times.
I thought
And I
about
was like,
you.
"Thank you." I
I
thought
was
about me
like,
too.
I only read them once, and I'd be like, "I don't even remember what happened." I said, "See, this is why she understands the shit, 'cause she be done read it 3, 4 times." I guess it matters, guys.
Like a psycho.
It
Like,
matters.
yeah, I'll be like, "Oh my god, I can't get enough of this." So, yeah, I do tend to consume things over and over again because you do get something out of it each time. So he said the first time to read it is just to understand the plot, the story. And
Right.
then the second time, you need to read it to understand the history of the book and where the words are coming from.
Mm.
And then the third one is
For shits and
oh, did I
giggles?
not write that down? I didn't write it down. Oh no.
Ah, look at you, look at you.
Oh, what is wrong?
Your nerdness, you failed us at the finish
Let me
line.
see if I can let me go back to my original file because that was a screenshot. I think it got
Okay.
cut off.
Well, while you're doing that,
Okay.
one quote that I liked, and this is kinda going back to the poverty part, of course, this doesn't relate to what you were saying, but, poverty doesn't give you strength or teach you lessons about perseverance. No, poverty only teaches you how to be poor. Amen to that,
Because
'cause
they
I
do try to
mean
make it seem like the glorious
they
poor.
have to because at first the glory is poor, or it's like one of those things where it's a moral failing on one hand, but also like,
Mhm.
"Oh my god, you're so brave." Like, it's very patronizing to say that, I think, to people who are dealing with poverty. Like, "Bitch, fuck outta here. This ain't building
Right.
fortitude, nigga. Like, this is killing me daily. Stress the hell out."
Exactly. Yeah. Like, it's like, "Oh, but you're building so
Mm-mm.
much
Don't
character."
do
It's
that.
like,
Don't do that.
"No.
Don't do that. No, I'm
Mm-mm."
not. No, I'm not. I'm slowly dying.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So did you find the end part of your quote?
No.
Oh, man, it's in there somewhere.
I know, I'm trying
It's
to
in
let's
there
see.
somewhere.
Oh, wait, here we go, let's see. Oh, I didn't.
That's
I
it?
found
That
the
was it?
bottom part, I didn't write down the 3rd thing, I failed.
Oh man.
Sometimes you fail.
You do. But you're gonna read it again, so it's fine.
I prob
Get it
oh,
the
yeah.
second time.
And, for some reason, I wrote down because, like, when he was talking about his sister when he was learning that she used to write
Mhm.
and how upsetting like, it when you see someone who used to be so awesome and you watch them deteriorate.
Mm.
And I remember it's because and I brought up the point too that he used to draw that he was drawing cartoons, and I like to draw. For people who don't know, like, I love drawing. It's so calming to me. And a lot of times when people like to watch you draw. Like, I don't
'Cause
know
they
why.
can't. It's kinda
Sure.
like seeing titties when you don't have them. It's like, wow. And you have them. You're like, "I mean, it's just titties."
It's just titties. I'm just drawing.
You
But,
know what I
like,
mean?
yeah, but, like, a lot of time I've heard this so many times over the years because 'cause I've drawn my whole life. Pretty much since I've had the ability to control my hands, I've been drawing. And people come up to you and they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, my cousin," and it's this I've heard it so many times. "My cousin used to draw." And it always breaks my heart to hear it because it means one of 2 things. It either means their cousin stopped drawing or their cousin's dead. And it's it's either one of those 2 things, and they're both really sad because when you stop drawing, to me, that's like a tiny death. Like, if I ever stop drawing, because it's like, "Yeah, I just don't draw anymore." It's like, you
That
would
would be
know
super
something's
weird,
wrong.
yeah.
Yeah, you know something's wrong. And so, like, when people, like, stop doing something that they used to really enjoy, that used to really give them pleasure, like, that's really sad. Like, probably because they got off into drugs or some shit. Like, there's always
Mm.
some story behind, like, why somebody stopped doing, like, drawing or singing or some sort of artistic expression.
Mm. Or maybe they just
And
weren't good, though.
that's true too.
I mean, like, sometimes you just have to
But
give
no,
up
it doesn't
because
matter, like, if there's something I really enjoy, I'll still keep doing it even if I'm not good. You've heard me sing,
that is true, and I do enjoy your singing.
but it's not
Even though
good.
yeah, no, not because it's good. It's I enjoy it 'cause it's
It's
not
just
good.
a pure expression of joy.
Of joy, exactly. No, but I mean, like, sometimes too, like, if it's not very good, maybe he just stops showing it to people and it's just for him, maybe they still do draw.
True, true.
We don't know. I
Probably
don't know. I
not
don't even
though.
know why but that's so contrary. I'm just saying shit. It's like
True.
maybe he just you know what I'm saying? Like,
Generally, when I talk to
ah,
people, because
but
I
no, I know what
stopped
you mean.
asking after a while, because 'cause I've been like,
Yeah.
"Oh, why don't they draw
Oh,
anymore?"
he
Be
got
like, "Oh,
shot.
they got shut." Yeah, that one. That's
Why is
usually it.
that
Yeah,
is
that's usually
depressing.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's
So I just
really
like to imagine that maybe they just, they never progressed in their art, never really got great, so they just do it in their spare time and they lie, and don't tell people about it anymore. It's embarrassing. I don't know.
or they, like, try to seek out their favorite artist to get them to look at it, and the artist tries to
Yes,
fuck
in
them.
hopes of, "Oh, no." Another one bites the dust, guys.
It's hard. It's a cold world,
It
and that's
definitely
why
is.
you need books. You need some
It's the
sort of outlet.
contrast, it's the art.
Yeah.
I like the idea that art is like this buffer for us in this life because there are so many terrible and awful things that sometimes are outside of our control, and, so even if you're not the one creating art, consuming art can just be so cathartic,
Yeah.
um, you know?
I
And
like it.
so I really, 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 truly, truly love, the idea of that, even though I mean, my drawing and so maybe that resonates for me because my drawing probably stopped progressing in about 2nd to 3rd grade. Like, if I draw a picture now, it's pretty much equal to my 4th grader. Actually,
That
his are
could
better.
that could still be beautiful.
Sure. You know?
It could.
I mean, or not, and that's okay,
Not
you
all
know?
art has to be representative.
Yeah.
Not all art
Look
has
at
to be
you
and
trying to be
even
inclusive.
when I'm
My trash
drawing,
my stupid art.
I try to remind people, like, not everything has to be good. Most of the art that even the great masters produced isn't good, like, they're
But
not
they're not showing
masterpiece.
that to people, you know what I mean? They wait until they have a good one to show is what I'm saying. And I get what you're saying. It takes
Sometimes.
a lot of, a lot of time to get to that point. I'm not about to
Yeah,
argue with you're the artist. I'm not gonna
let's
argue with you
argue.
about that.
No,
I'm
let's
just being
argue. Let's
being
keep
just I've been like this all day, okay?
I'm into
Anybody
it.
can get
You
it.
know I love to debate. Let's like, let's
Anybody can get
go.
it.
Let's
Anybody
go.
but I mean, I'm just debating for the fucking sake of it. But
Sure,
no,
it's a
it's,
good mental exercise.
no, but art, I do think is super important, and I think, whether you're creating it or enjoying it, it definitely can, I liked how he talked about drawing food, like, wishing it would, like, come to life and how, like, being
Oh.
poor like, being hungry wasn't the worst part about being poor to him. Because he said it damn near makes food taste better when you get it. He's like, no matter how long we'd have to wait, at some point, our parents would show up with a bucket of KFC. And like, what's better than a bucket of KFC when you ain't ate in 3 days? It's like, God damn. Think about that. KFC on your
When you're
black lips
really hungry,
when you're
on your
hungry,
black my
on your
black
black
greasy
Negro lips,
lips. Oh my
on
goodness,
those
my
Negro lips.
shiny yes, glistening. But you know what's funny though? I've never been hungry a day in my life.
Not truly, no. My mom didn't even let us say that.
I was also not
She was
allowed
like,
to
"You
say
better
that,
not
like,
fix your
that's the
mouth to say
closest
you're
my mom's
hungry.
ever
You ain't
come to,
never
like,
been hungry."
punch me in the face,
Hell
never, and
yeah.
I didn't understand it because at the time it felt very real.
It was like, "No, no, no. I think what I'm feeling, mom, is hunger." It's like,
It's like,
"No, no,
"Ma'am,
no."
no."
Like, "No."
I don't think you
It's when
understand.
you get a
Like,
white glove and a
I don't
smack.
have a I don't have another word for it.
That's
Like
it. That's all there is.
yeah, but, like, the
I
fact
would
that,
like
like,
to
my
eat some food
parents
now.
never n they were it was never an issue of there's no food in the house. At some point, you eat
Mhm.
the oatmeal.
Listen, you better get in them canned goods. You better open up them that can of peaches and get to work. Shit. What I'm saying? Better get them little beanie weenies
Know
out that
why
bitch.
when you say get to work, it's
You know what
something
I'm saying?
about it because you mean that.
I'm saying, trust me, it's been summertime and you done went through all the good snacks, goddamn it. We've all been there. You be like, "God damn."
It's
It's
like,
like
"Well,
Chopped. That's why I love Chopped. That's one of my
I
faves
l
because it's
can we
like,
talk
dude, that's
about
like being in the
Chopped?"
hood. You be like, "Look, I have a pack of green beans,
Some leftover
half gone.
macaroni and
Some
cheese
left." Right, right. 2 pieces of this chicken breast, like 2 pieces, small pieces
in
of the
20
chicken breast.
seconds,
Right,
go.
go. And it's 3 people hungry, bitch.
Doom, doom,
Right.
doom, doom.
Oh, it's just so real.
It's
So,
real, it's
when the
real.
KFC comes through, you be like, "Hold on." So,
Yeah,
I was like, "Damn, yeah, I've never been hungry, but I can only imagine, the smell and the taste of food just being so good, like, huh." So that kinda that took me out a little bit. That took me
yeah.
out, I like that. Also, just okay, so I feel like we can keep going on. I feel like do we just stop now? This is what we do. Like, this is why we have to cut these episodes off.
Well, why don't we just take a break?
That's what I was gonna suggest. See? Boom. Let's
Yeah,
take a quick
yeah,
break. Let's
let's just take a
regroup.
breaks.
Take the deep
I don't
breath.
know how to pause. Anyway,
I
that'll
don't
be good for
either.
the audio anyway. Like, I think we'll just save that for the audio part, and since this
Okay.
is the video part, but I can use all of this to make it cohesive. So we're back from the break.
Yes, we are. That was
What a great break that was.
it
I'm so
was. It was
refreshed.
definitely great.
The bags under Moni's eyes are gone,
Sure they are.
as are mine. My
No,
eyelashes aren't messed up, and everything's great.
everything's fantastic. We are here, so that's the good part. I don't know, friend, this book was really good. I mean, I feel like we had a lot to say as usual. But I think we should probably wrap it up though. Like let's rate the book. Like let's just rate it because
Okay.
even though I feel like I didn't get to dive into Rowdy and like how that their friendship sort of
I
like was
loved that
it was
dynamic.
it
It was so
was
real. That's
it was
why to me, I was
real.
like, "Oh, this wasn't real?"
I know. It was so, so good. There's so many parts, you guys. I still recommend this book even though dude's a borderline molester or whatever. We are okay, so if you had to rate it, that's what I was going for. What would you do?
I'm gonna give it 1 little, 2 little, 3 little Indians, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little Indians, 7 little no. I'm giving it all the points.
I was like, "Oh, no. Is that is that are we canceled? Are we allowed?
No, that's
Is
a
that song
terribly
canceled
racist song.
now?
I probably
That
and actually, I think
everything's canceled now.
originally it was probably like, I don't know.
Let's not delve into the history of that song. We know it's something real bad. I mean, most kids'
Yeah.
songs are awful anyway. They all are
Yeah,
terrible.
I'm gonna give it, what was something in there? Maybe 5 5 5
I got
5.
5 on
5
it.
fives.
You're giving it 5 fives. Yes.
25.
Okay. I'm mathing. Ding. Okay. I will give it 5 jumpers because
Ooh, 5 jump shots?
jump shots, yeah,
Okay.
because he was good at making jump shots
It sounded
and
like he was pretty sweet with it.
nailed it.
And it's like playoff season. Have you been watching the playoffs with your husband?
Are you being for real right now?
Yes.
Absolutely not. I feel like you knew the answer to that. You're doing that for the show. You know what?
We
I'm
have to
just
keep
kidding. It's
people
cool. It's cool.
entertained.
Hell no, man. I don't know. He might be
Okay.
watching them right now. Are they on right now?
I don't think so. I think there was a game last night and there's one tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, no. I fell asleep on him watching the Ozarks last night. Like immediately
Oh.
2 seconds in, when he turned it on, I was like, I thought to myself, I don't know why he's doing this. I'm never gonna
Like,
make it. I'm never
this is
gonna
so
make
dark
it.
and this is so dark and desaturated and quiet at times. I'm
This is
definitely going to sleep.
this is the first time I sat all day. Okay. All right. So I'm tired. All right.
That's so cute.
So yeah, no, I haven't been watching the playoffs. I don't plan to. Who's in the playoffs? Is it down to the last 2 teams or is it like 4 of them?
No, no, we're still
Oh.
this is just the top of May, like,
Oh, I'm
we've
okay
got we've got
then.
a ways to
Okay,
go.
great. I always forget. I don't even yeah. So, yeah, just I mean, let me know. Like, I don't even know. Who do you want to win?
Just some tall black guys.
Oh, I think you're in for a treat. I think they'll be king of those.
Yay!
Yay! Tall black
They did
guys.
it! They did
Wow.
it! Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, my
Yeah, the
god.
tall black guys from either the East or
East or the
Western
West Coast.
conferences.
Yes.
I hope they and a couple of,
Woo.
white or
Sprinkled in white
Europeans,
men.
tall Europeans.
Okay. Let's hear it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm here for it. So
Oh
that's who I'm
god, you're
cheering
ignorant.
for. I am.
Wow. So on
I'm
that
not the best.
note, should we just spin this fucking wheel and get out of here? You're
Please.
sending me down a lane right now.
Please.
All right, spin it. Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. Cat, listen. So this is an HBO special. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I've been waiting for this.
Yes, this was one that Kat wanted to take a look at, which is Rothaniel by is it Gerard or Jared? I think it's
Gerard.
Gerard. Gerard Carmichael.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's a comedian and natural funny man. He had shows out. He's got this comedy special. I think this is not his first one, is it?
Not even close.
You know what? I don't really follow this man. I'm gonna be full
I'm a
disclosure.
comedy nerd, so I've been following him for a while. He used to be on the Do you remember the Lucas Brothers cartoon?
Hell no.
Okay, so he used to be on that, so you don't care about that.
No.
He had the Carmichael Show on NBC. That was a favorite. That was before Tiffany Haddish was famous. She was on there.
That's the one I didn't watch because your ex-husband liked it, and to be a hater, I just was like, "Yeah, no, I don't like that." Yes, 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 I remember
And
him.
and
So
I
it's probably
love you.
good.
I love you for that
I
in a
was
way.
like, "Yeah, no, it's probably stupid." He was trying to sell it. I'm like, "Yeah, no, I don't know. It's
It was so
probably
weird
dumb."
because there's rarely a show that me and him both like, and we both liked to that
You
show,
were
so
like,
that's why he was
"No, no,
excited about
Moni, it's
it.
actually
It is
really
actually
good." I was like,
and it holds up to it's still really funny even
I may
today.
have to revisit it
Yeah,
because he was
and he also
delightful."
has a lot of comedy specials, and he did a documentary kinda thing about his hometown
Where's he
and
from?
interviewing he's from one of the Carolinas, I don't wanna say
Nice.
the wrong one.
Southern guy.
Yeah, and
Okay.
so just talk it's fabulous, so I'm really looking forward to this.
I am too. I cannot wait to dig into it. You guys should watch it and then, like, come back and listen to us. And so, let us know what you guys think. So definitely drop us some comments. Comment on any episode, you guys, anytime. Like,
Oh,
that'd
I
be
almost
fantastic.
forgot. Oh,
What?
shoot. We're supposed to
What?
be doing a
Ah,
giveaway
ah.
for those tickets. Like, we got
Oh,
tickets to
shit.
hold on, like,
Oh,
I need to
yay.
grab them.
Oh,
Hold
my
on, so I can
God.
show them in the thing. Hold on, everybody. Here, Moni, sing a song.
Okay, okay.
Oh, wait, never mind. I had
Rock.
them right here. I'm ready. I'm
Oh,
prepared.
that was very quick. Okay. Well, tell them about the giveaway. This is dope.
So, we are giving away tickets to the Red Bottle Affairs Jazz
Ooh.
Launch Party, May 15th.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
it's going to be featuring Lynn Roundtree, Rob White, and Tony
Ooh,
Exum Jr. So this is like a hot ticket. So we've got 2 of them.
I
So
like it.
email us and we'll put your names on the wheel and we'll spin for it
That's right. Or
and
drop
announce.
your you guys can also hit us up on our Instagram if you wanna
Yes.
DM us or whatever. Or maybe I'll do a post where like,
We'll do a
if you
spin
like or
for
pass,
one.
we'll figure it out. We'll figure
Yeah.
out a cute way to do that. So you can definitely email us, you guys. Like she said, didn't mean to
Ye
interrupt that.
Oh,
Definitely do
I don't
that.
care at all. But,
Yeah.
like, yeah, this'll be, May 15th. We'll announce the winner on the next show. So, yeah, if you like jazz,
Okay. Or
come get
somebody who
it.
likes jazz.
Yeah, and this was also, yeah, sponsored by Castel Vodka. So, thank you, Castel Vodka,
I know, you guys.
for, yeah, giving
The
us these tickets to
tickets.
give
Whoop whoop.
away. So, you want it.
You know you
It's
want it.
it's starting to get
You know somebody
warm.
who wants it.
I mean, just,
And honestly, too, a lot of times I've been to plenty of events and affairs that I'm not like, sporting events, for instance, I don't mind going to them, even though I'm not a sporter.
you're not a
I
sportster?
like no, like, but I like going to sports. I like going because it's like, oh, there's like snacks and
There are
I'm
snacks.
usually with people I like and
Sure,
stuff
sure.
happening and
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
whole
so it can
thing.
be fun. So yeah, even if you're not a jazz fan, I mean, it might be just nice to get out the house.
Oh,
You might learn some new stuff.
and also shout out to, Justin Bland, Made Man.
Oh,
We're gonna be,
yeah.
this weekend. Oh, wait, I don't even know we're supposed to announce that.
Well, we can still talk about it. We can clip it and do
Yeah,
whatever,
like,
but
we're shouting him out because like, that's, exciting. We're glad to see him back because
yes,
those shows
Justin
are
Bland.
fabulous. We got to be judges last time,
Yes, it's a local improv show if
and
you guys don't know. Definitely check him out on Instagram too, Jay Bland. We'll leave his stuff in the comments too not the comments, Lord, this is how you know it's time to go. I'm just
the
saying stuff. The
description,
description, the notes, if you will.
if
If
you
you guys are
will.
local, you definitely I don't even know, it might be sold out at this point.
I mean, probably, but I still
Probably,
like to
probably.
talk about it
It's
because it's
super
so
fun, it's
fun.
super fun. If you missed it, you have to make it to 1. If you're in Indy,
Yeah,
you have to make
he's
it to
doing
1. It's such a
more.
fun such a fun, positive show. It's just nice to see young Black creatives doing their thing. We're so honored, and we so appreciate the invite every single time. So we get to be there. We're not judges this time, but we are gonna be, honored guests,
In the
and we're gonna
building.
be yeah, we're gonna be in the building. We're gonna be shouting out, having a good time. It's a good Black time, so
My heart feels so light
I
afterwards.
know. It's something to look forward to, so that'll be really
Mhm.
fun, you guys. So we'll try to
What are
post some
you what
pictures,
money, what are you wearing?
probably something black.
Me too!
I have no idea, but everything I have is black, so
I was gonna wear all black.
all
Okay, we're
black
all together.
for that
We
we wore
figured
all
it
black
out.
last time too, so there's that.
Yeah, and it was great.
Yes, something baggy at the top and
I think I'm actually gonna try to do something a little more daring.
Oh, do
Oh.
okay, we'll have to share some pictures and, I'll be
Mhm.
fancier than this, maybe a little bit fancier. We'll just be
Slightly.
some makeup, not that much.
My hair will
Doesn't
probably
get
be
me down.
bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be cute. It'll be fine. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Justin is a lot of fun. We
He
appreciate him
is,
and
the
his
whole
support.
crew.
The whole crew, actually, yes, you are totally right. They're all so talented and fun. So
Mhm.
yeah. Yay! So lots of exciting things, guys. This is really
It's
great.
about to be a hot girl
It
summer.
is. We only have a couple more episodes until season 1 ends. We're gonna be, like I said last time, you guys, we're launching some new images, like just, a new vibe, a new look. I mean, same, but just a little bit of a remix. So that'll be fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I hope you guys stay tuned and kind of check us out for that. And you know what? I feel like we need to get the hell up out of here, friend. Like
I agree. This has been so fun, though.
it has. I needed this,
I loved this
honestly.
book so much.
It was good. It was good. It was good.
So thank you for not letting us down.
I know, I know. That's why it was a bummer that, just a little bit of a bummer, but that's okay. Overall, the book was good. You guys should still check it out, I think.
It's only because of
Get it
how
from the
the Native
library.
Americans have been
That
or the indigenous people have been annihilated by a white supremacist culture.
I listen, don't let us start delving into, the patriarchy and
We
all that shit. We're not gonna
Yeah.
do it to y'all, but, anyway,
Oh,
guys.
wait, no, wait, last
No,
thing.
what?
This is the last one. I love
Like, okay,
how
we're back.
sex positive their culture is. Like, that was the thing to me that really stood out. Whenever I learn about, like, native cultures, a lot of
Mm.
times they're not as, rigid
about
about sexuality as
mhm.
sort of Western European culture. So
But
shout
on the res, he was saying how, cause like, think about how they talk to each other about, "Oh, you, like, gay," like, there was a lot of
Yeah,
homophobic
but
language. Be
that's
prepared for
from
that.
the Euro.
Yes.
That's the European influence. That wasn't culturally like their jam before the colonizers got here.
No, and I like how he illustrated that using his grandmother as the litmus not litmus test
Yeah.
for that, but yeah, because she was the example. Cause he was like,
That
you
she's like the
know,
baseline. Like she's like,
she
I
was the
don't
baseline. She's like, "We our culture, we didn't, we looked at them like they were, special," and it was never a big deal. It was never a big deal until, you know,
And Cola Booth talked about that too, about
colonization.
how in Africa it was like, yeah, it's
That
not a thing.
nobody
Like
gives a damn.
we don't persecute these people. That's dumb.
Right, we just keep it moving. We just
Yeah.
keep it
Okay,
going,
so
so
now I'm done. I just had to say that.
that's okay, friend. I liked it. See, this happens. This is what we do off the air a lot of the time anyway. So, who knows if this will actually make it to the episode. Could be a clip. But I
It'd be
loved it. I thought it
exciting.
was fantastic. You guys check us out across our social media, Fab Podcast, on Instagram. And you guys share it. Share, 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 share.
Do
Do
it.
it.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
Bye
Bye.
guys.